That was the big thing for me. Just go out there. And it was hard for me. I'm not somebody that goes out there and speaks to a lot of people.
Okay.
For me to walk into a store and present myself with my product, it was tough.
Yeah.
And it's gotten much easier, now that I got the confidence, I got the backing that I know people like them.
Yes.
It's easier. But in the beginning, you got to get out of your comfort zone.
Well, hi there, and welcome to Side Hustle Hero, the show that inspires action and helps you to turn your side hustle into a thriving income stream. I'm your host, Joan Posivy. If there's a side hustle that you've been waiting to start, but you've been holding back because you feel that you don't have the business experience or all the knowledge to pull it off, I think you'll be inspired by today's guest, Liz Birchard. She's the CEO and creator of Tutu's Tortilla Chips. Neither Liz nor her co-founder, Dana Davison, had any background in marketing, branding, or promotion. They both work full-time in a dental office, but that didn't stop them. And I hope the fear of not knowing it all doesn't stop you either. Tutu's Tortilla Chips are now in 70 retail locations with revenues of over $250,000. To help fast-track your success, I asked Liz about her biggest challenge starting out, her biggest challenge now, and the most revealing, if she had to start all over again, what would she do differently? Oh, and somewhere in the conversation, I discover, as it turns out, I have something in common with the lead singer of ZZ Top. If you've been waiting until you think you know enough, I hope this episode is your inspiration to start bringing your idea to life. Welcome, Liz.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, full disclosure to everyone listening, having been recently introduced to Tutu's Tortilla Chips, I am a huge fan. They are so crispy, so flavorful. So thank you, Liz, for, number one, sharing them with the world. But tell us about that singular moment when something just clicked and you made that decision to share your beloved tortilla chips beyond just family and friends and actually turn it into a side hustle business.
I was just making them for family and friends.
Yeah.
And then when I would give them to Dana, she would take them out to the desert with all of her quad friends. And she would say, Liz, as soon as I bring out those bags, because I would give them to her in Trader Joe paper bags.
Okay.
And she said, every time I bring them out, the whole campsite starts coming to my trailer. And
she's the one with the chips, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So one day she came back and just said, this is what they're telling me. She and I sat down and we talked about it and we started getting the business and just, oh my gosh, yes, here we go.
So when she first floated the idea to you, was that something you'd be thinking about for a while or was this something out of the blue?
It was out of the blue.
And at first, were you totally on board or was there some skepticism or?
I wouldn't say I was on board right away. Okay. I was thinking, this is just a bunch of hoopla. We'll get through it.
Just another one of my friend's crazy ideas?
Right. Like, I'm going to do this. And I sat down with John and said, this is what they're proposing to me. What do you think about it?
John's your husband?
John's my husband. And I think he kind of felt the same way. Neither one of us truly thought it was something that was going to take off.
Okay.
By no means.
Yes. Did you or John or Dana know anything about marketing, packaging, wholesaling, any of that?
No.
Okay.
So Dana and I worked together in a dental office. We've worked together for about 28 years now.
Oh, wow.
My husband's a golf pro.
Mm-hmm.
So needless to say, this was all a new venture for us.
Right.
And we are still learning to this day of how to do the next step.
Because right now you're still working full-time in the dental office, correct?
Yes, I'm still working. All three of us are still working.
So this truly is a side hustle.
It is. And I have people that help me.
Mm-hmm.
And until I get to that point where I absolutely have to quit my job, I love what I do. Dental assisting, I've done it for 40 years now. And I love what I do.
That's a fabulous position to be in.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
Well, in part because of all the unknowns that you were stepping into, there must have been some, I don't know, fear or trepidation on your part with that be fair to say?
Every day.
Okay, it never stops, she
It
says.
never stops.
Because there must have been moments where it was like, can this really work? So how have you
Right.
overcome that? Because you're several years into it now.
I'm 8 years into it.
Okay.
And the times when I think, okay, I'm done, something happens. Every time I get negative, if you will,
Okay.
something good comes. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is meant to be. We'll just take it one day at a time and see what happens tomorrow. What keeps me going and steady is John telling me, Liz, this is business.
It's not all unicorns and rainbows.
No. And the more and more I talk to people in business, they say the same thing. Liz, you're going to have a good month, and you're going to have the next month, you're going to want to say, I'm done with the whole thing. And you get back up and you go on to your next one. And it's fine.
This is
And
normal.
It's normal. I watch some of the things on Facebook and stuff, and it says business owners, and it shows somebody running like out of control. And then the next one is, oh, life is great. And that's how it is. I mean, there are some months, dear Lord, and then the next month can be just wonderful.
But the real teaching point in that, Liz, too, is the fact that the importance of having those people around, having those connections that have been there, done that, or doing it, to be able to say, okay, you're not crazy. This is part of the growth of a business.
Right.
And we put one foot in front of the other. You learn from those challenges, those things go wrong, and you're stronger and better and continue to grow.
Yes. And so my employer, Dr. Carter, I'll go in there and go, oh my God, doctor, I got this. And he's like, yeah, welcome to being an owner. It's like, this is what happens, Liz. So, I mean, he gives me a lot of support as well. You
That's
know.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That would be your full-time employer, obviously, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Many people have a fantastic product. Friends and family rave about it. They want to turn it into a business, but they just don't know where to start. It's such a big unknown to go from creating something in your kitchen to actually walking into the store and seeing it on the shelves. So take us
Yes.
through your experience with that. Where did you even start? Like, what was that first step? Dana comes over, convinces you to start this
Start it
business.
up.
What was first?
Actually, Dr. Carter, he grew up in a small town that he knew the store owner. And he called her up one day and said, hey, I got an assistant. This is what she's doing. Would you mind putting 12 bags in the store and let's just see how it goes?
Wow.
And she did. That was really fun. And then I just started going out to the local stores and just dropping off the bags. I'm a local business owner. Here are my chips. And it was back before COVID.
Okay.
So you could serve them and they could taste them. And I went to another store called On the Mark,
Okay.
and they would put them out in bowls and people could try them. And they just said, Liz, people will have one chip and they'll buy a bag.
Yeah.
And that was just really fun to know that what I did here at home, people
Yes.
really enjoyed. It's not
Yes.
my family and friends saying, oh, yeah, Liz, these are great. No.
Third party, unbiased. They're
Right.
hard-earned money down to actually buy these.
And that became fun.
Awesome. Let's backtrack a little bit. So what happened to those first 12 bags?
They flew off the shelf.
Really? Nice.
Yes. And she was someone that also helped me with the pricing. I went in really low, not knowing.
Okay.
And she'd come back and say, Liz, no, you need to up the price and do this and do that. And that was fun. I can say that all of my stores have given me a helpful hand throughout my process here.
See, another teaching point in there is that oftentimes other people really do want to help.
Oh,
Especially
absolutely.
if you've got a great product, which you do, that it's a win-win. They get to introduce a new product to the customers, and of course, you're increasing your sales.
Absolutely. And it's fun when we're in a spot like we are here in Palm Desert, where we have a lot of celebrities, sports people, and to know that they go into these stores just to buy my chips.
Really?
Yes. And when I'll get a call from, his name's Bubba from On the Mark, he will say, Liz, I've got a waiting list. And as soon as I come in and I drop him off, one of his guys will say, okay, I'll start the calling. And they'll have to call a list of people that are waiting for the chips to come in.
Really?
Yeah. And that's really nice. And being in the dental field, I see a lot of people.
Yes.
And every now and then, I've known some of these people for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And every now and then, we'll start talking. And they'll say, oh, have you guys heard about those new chips? They're local, blah, blah, blah. And I'll say, oh, Tutus? And they're like, yeah, they're delicious, blah, blah, blah. And I'll say, well, you know, that's Dana and I. And they're like, no, shut up. That's you and Dana? And it's fun to hear it without me starting the conversation. It's nice to have them come to me not knowing
Yes.
that I'm the owner.
That's
and hear
really
them
funny.
talk about it. Yeah. It's fun. Yeah.
What's been one of your funniest or crazy chip selling stories in that realm?
So I get a call, or actually my daughter-in-law got the call, and she calls me and says, Liz, somebody named Billy Gibson is wanting to buy your chips.
Okay.
And I guess he had a lot of stores of this, that, and the other. And I'm like, okay, great. So I looked people up. Everything I put in would come up ZZ Top.
When you search the name Billy Gibson?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I thought, what am I doing wrong here? Why am I keep on getting ZZ Top? And my husband looked over my shoulder and said, well, Liz, that's who it is.
That is ZZ Top.
That is ZZ Top. I'm like, oh my gosh. So the funny part about that, so I call my daughter-in-law back, and I'm like, oh, that's ZZ Top, honey. And of course, she says, who?
Right.
And
Yeah. Different generation.
Different generation,
Yeah.
but now she loves ZZ Top. She listens to them.
Aw.
And it's great. I mean, but that was the first, I think, time where I felt, oh, heck, maybe I've got something.
Yeah, this is real now. So
Yeah.
does Billy Gibson have a string of stores, or this was for him personally?
Both. He had a couple of stores here and there. And after his partner died, I don't know if he started touring more.
Okay.
And that kind of went off to the side. But I know he goes up to the store in Palm Springs and buys them all the time, every time he's in town.
Oh, fun. It's great to have people talk about your product.
It's nice to know that somebody like him eats my chips,
Yes.
you know.
When I was asking about that first step, you mentioned that your boss, the doctor, made that phone call for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you delivered the bags. But even before that, how did you even know where to source the bags, quantity?
We just started looking at local bags and looking at what company. And we wound up with a company, obviously out of country, like everything is. And they sent us a pack of all their brands.
Okay.
And I sat down with all their brands and I picked and chose what I liked about each of them. And started emailing the company and telling them this is what I like, blah, blah, blah. And they put it together and I just ordered their minimum.
Yeah. You want to test that minimum viable product. You want to keep the
Absolutely.
costs low, right? Because chances are you're going to tweak things anyway. Yeah.
Yes. And we've gone from the first order was 5,000. And I think a year now we probably order about 75,000.
Wow. Wait, your first order was 5,000 bags?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I thought, oh my Lord, we'll never go through all these.
Why did you get such a large first order? Was it a better price point or?
Yes, better
Yeah.
price point.
Yeah.
And as we go on now, same thing. I mean, the more you
Yes.
order, the cheaper they become.
And how
So,
about the print and design on the bag?
honestly, a lot of this stuff was just sitting on the computer playing around. A girlfriend and I would sit there and we'd bring up things and say, oh, well, that's cute. Let's put that on there.
Yes.
And I mean, the same with the little sun. It was just something I thought was cute.
Yes.
And I liked the font. And honestly, we didn't put a whole lot of research into it.
Right.
we just said, oh, I like that. I like that. Okay, let's see what they look like.
Sure.
And that's kind of how it developed. And then as time goes on, you start adding the QR codes, the little
Yes.
emblems here. And each batch of bags I buy, there's something a little bit different that I've added. I'm getting ready to order my first set of bags that's going to be for the cinnamon and sugar chips only. It's going to say cinnamon and sugar on it somewhere. Still working on how we're going to design it. But I mean, that's, for me, that is something awesome that, okay, I'm to the point where I can have now 2 separate bags.
Is it just the design, the printing on it that's different, or it's the physical bag that's different as well?
Just the design.
Okay, just the design.
bag itself is going to be,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things I will have to say. People love the bag, and stores look at that. Is it going to look good in their stores? Will it match their theme?
Yes.
And that's a big thing for the stores.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and it's durable, and it's actually user friendly too. Because sometimes you're fighting with a bag of chips to open them. It rips open.
Yeah, and it's nice that they can reseal them. Of course, I get people say, I don't know why you waste your money on it. We eat the whole bag in one sitting.
So what is the process to make them?
We get the tortillas delivered. We cut them.
Okay, so you're getting the pre-made tortillas. You've sourced those.
Yes.
Okay.
And I treat the oil, and then we fry them up. I made my own seasoning.
What are you frying them up in?
Peanut oil.
Okay, but what's the container holding it? It wouldn't be a pot on your stove.
Oh, no, I have a professional deep fryer.
Did you always have that, or?
No, in the beginning, I would have just 2 little kitchen deep fryers, just the ones you'd use in your kitchen.
Yeah.
And then at one point, I had 3 of them lined up.
Okay.
And I would come home from work. If my husband got home earlier, he would start cutting. He would start getting stuff ready for me.
Okay.
And I'd get home and I'd cook until about 11 o'clock at night.
Wow.
And then the next day I'd come home and I'd bag until about 11 o'clock at night.
Okay.
So yeah, in the early days, it was a lot of work.
Because you were basically doing it yourself with your husband's help.
Yes.
So you cut up the tortillas, you put on the seasoning, they go into the deep fryer, and then they have to sit, and then the next day you package them.
Yes. And now we're at the point where we package them the same day.
Okay. And do you need any special licensing for that in terms of like a commercial kitchen because you're selling it now to these wholesalers?
Well, in California, it's called a cottage license.
Okay.
We have the food inspector come out once a year.
Okay.
And they look at everything and make sure I'm not doing anything bad. Then the city comes out and we have a license to do it.
Okay. So they certify your kitchen in a way.
Yeah.
And is there a cost to that for you?
Yeah, it's under $500.
What was your biggest challenge in the early days of getting this from your kitchen and into store shelves?
Honestly, finding the time to go out and do it.
Okay.
And the thing about our chips is, for the most part, they're only in specialty stores.
Okay.
And all of those people, they go to other specialty stores and they start looking around. And they'll ask the people working it, what's your biggest seller?
Okay.
And they'll start throwing out names. And my chips, I guess, were always the first thing out of their mouth. And that's how we got a lot of stores in LA. It was just word of mouth between different store owners and workers.
Wow. And that's how many store locations are you up to now?
We're at about 65 to 70, plus a couple of hotels that we're in.
And who's looking after your sales today?
My daughter-in-law takes care of all of my sales nowadays.
And is she doing that part-time as well then?
Somewhat, yes. I might be the one out there knocking on doors, but Lexi's the one that comes in and follows up with the emails and whatnot.
Okay. Well, what's your biggest challenge today then?
Today is finding a commercial kitchen that's out of my house.
Okay. I want my house back.
It's either at that point it's going to be a divorce or get a commercial kitchen.
Right.
But in California, that's my toughest thing right now is the rent is so expensive around here.
Right.
So I have been looking, and I have a few fillers out there for shared kitchen.
Okay.
Somebody that, doesn't use their kitchen 24 hours a day.
Right.
And there's a window there for us.
Great idea.
So, yeah.
Yes.
That's what we're working on right now.
Instead of making that huge leap from kitchen to full-on commercial kitchen on your own.
Baby steps here for me. I mean, I don't want to go out and build me a kitchen just yet. As secure as I am with the company, I am still scared. What if this? What if that? So I'm trying to do it in baby steps. So if something does go sideways, it's not that bad.
Plus, I mean, you're not relying this solely for your bread and butter. You are working full time.
Exactly.
So you've got the ability to take it at whatever speed you want to. Because in the end, too,
Right.
I mean, we're talking about your life here. I mean, you want to have fun with it as well, despite those ups and downs of running a business.
Right.
Well, let's zero in on production just for a little bit. Do you have a set schedule where you produce a certain amount each week, or is it based on demand? How does that work?
It's pretty much based on demand, but it's at the point right now where people keep on saying, well, what's your inventory? Well, my inventory changes every day because it doesn't sit around. As soon as you order it, we get it banged out and we get it off to you. So there's not a lot of inventory. It's just
Right.
made to order in a sense.
And you can turn around a batch within that 24 hours, depending on quantities.
Depending on quantities.
Yeah.
I mean, in the beginning, yes, I could get orders out within 2 days.
Okay.
Now we have a lag about 2 weeks because the stores have gone from ordering 12 to 25 to ordering 100, 150.
Right.
And we can do out of my house about 300 bags a day.
Okay. And how many hours a week are you spending on tutus?
A week, probably a good 40 hours.
Yeah, you got 2 full-time jobs.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, to give us an idea of the size of your company, what are your gross sales?
Last year was 271,000.
Congratulations on that, Liz.
Well, thank you.
Well, you mentioned basically a 40-hour week, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
How are you balancing that with your full-time work? Is it really just doing the evening weekend thing, or?
The evenings, the weekends, and I have to give it to Dr. Carter. He lets me check my phone for any emails coming in, phone calls. He lets me during the day check on those, deal with what I need to do throughout my day with him.
That is so nice. What
Yeah.
a lovely relationship you have there. And I
Yeah.
trust that a lot of that is driven too by the fact that he trusts that you're going to put the patients first,
Oh, absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he
that's
knows. Yeah.
not going to be abused. I love the sound of that relationship because it makes you realize too what a great thing you got going working in the dental office.
Right. I
Right?
mean, and if I need time off, if I have something I need to go do, he's all for it. And, it goes both ways. I work
Yes.
a lot through my lunch with him. I stay late. I do whatever I need to do for
Right.
him as well. Technically, we don't work Fridays, but if he needs me in on a Friday, I'm right there,
Right. You're there for each other.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, are you predominantly wholesale or do you sell direct to consumer as well?
Pretty much wholesale. So I do. This last week we had the Patrick Warburton St. Jude Hospital golf tournament to raise money,
Okay.
and we donate there, and then we're out on the golf course as well, serving up chips. And I'll get a lot of inquiries from there. We'll get an email saying, hey, we were at the Patrick Warburton. Can you send me 12 bags of chips?
And is that something that they pay you to come in and do, or
No.
do you see that as an opportunity for more exposure for your product and you go there at your own cost?
I go there at my own cost. And throughout the years, I've done it 3 or 4 years now. And when they contact me, they're like, okay, everybody wants to know, are you going to be there? Are the chips going to be there? So it's gotten to the point where people somewhat are excited to come to these tournaments because they know they're going to get chips
Right.
that they might not have had for since last year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fun.
Yes. Are you selling them there too, or just handing out free samples?
Just hand out free samples. Yeah.
How do you go about pricing your product? How do you determine what to charge your wholesalers?
Wholesale for a 10-ounce bag is $6.
Okay.
People in the industry suggesting what to do.
Okay.
I get a lot of feedback from stores, and at this point, we've become friends. And a lot of them will help me. Liz, you need to start doing this, or you need to raise your price.
Right.
And I'll laugh. I'm like, I'm raising it, and you're going to get hit for it. And they're like, that's fine, Liz. People love them. But if you want to keep going,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
you got to do it. So
Right.
I get a lot of help and insight from a lot of my stores.
Because they sell for around 12 or so, 12 and up
Yes.
per bag.
They-
Yeah.
They can sell anywhere. I think for the most, they start off about $10 now.
Okay.
And there's a couple of stores in LA that are $12 or $13.
Yes. And what's your biggest cost?
At the moment, oil.
Oil?
When
That's
I
a peanut oil, I think you
Yeah.
use. Yeah.
When I first started this, the peanut oil for 35 pounds was about $25.
Right.
It is now up to $63.
Oh, man.
So yeah, that has hurt.
Holy. Yeah, yeah.
And that you asked if I've ever had doubts. And when it comes to the oil,
Right.
that was one of the things that made me stop and say, okay, can we really do this with this pricing?
Yes.
And I'd say that's about the time that I had to raise my prices just to make up for it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Are you happy where the profit margins are sitting now?
I think so. You always want more, but
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
within reason, absolutely.
So some of those
Absolutely.
price increases you've had to pass on a bit, like the
Right.
peanut oil, and maybe some others you're choosing to absorb
Yeah.
while
I
you're
mean,
growing.
in the 8 years, everything has gone up without a doubt.
Mhm.
And it's hard to raise those prices for your stores, but you got to do it.
Yes.
I mean,
You're not going to be doing this for free.
no. And in the end, they just pass it on to the consumer.
Yes.
And people will buy silly things that are very expensive. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. But once they try your chips, so what's the most effective marketing things that you do?
I don't do many pop-ups, but the pop-ups that I do, as far as the golf tournaments,
Yes.
I will go out. Occasionally, stores will have some type of anniversary party type of thing.
Okay.
And I'll set
Yep.
up a booth there for them.
Nice.
And that gets people that have never had them to try them.
Yes.
And it just, word of mouth is amazing. And everybody says, if you can get them to have one chip, that's all it takes.
Now, what distinguishes your tortilla chips from a lot of the other ones on the market? What's the main difference?
The main difference, part of it is I want to say the texture.
Okay.
They're not hard, but they're firm
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to eating guacamole or salsa,
Right.
making chili quiles with it. They're firm, but they're not so hard that they hurt. It could be the frying them in the peanut oil. I do have one step that I do to the oil that I'm not going to divulge.
Okay. I wasn't going to ask you for your secret spice recipe either.
So yeah, when my husband was doing it, he and a friend in the beginning, they must have had 7 bottles of seasoning.
Okay.
And I just thought, you guys are crazy. I made my own with just a few little things and made it so much easier.
Yes.
And people like the seasoning on there as well.
Yes. And don't get me started on the cinnamon sugar ones. How did those come about?
Well, as long as my son never sees this,
Okay.
it was my son. He He was probably 13. And of course, wanted something sweet.
Yep.
And he's like, Mom, what if we did this? And so he started playing with it. And away we go. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. It was Taylor that said, hey, let's do a cinnamon and sugar one like you do with donuts or,
Yes. They're really good too.
And it's, yeah.
So you've been at it for 8 years now as this side hustle. If you were starting over today, is there anything that you'd do differently?
On some level, I think possibly had I known, I might have quit my job and done this more full time.
Okay.
But now that I've got a handle on doing both of them, at the moment, I'll continue to do the both jobs. But I think that would have been having more confidence in myself, saying, okay, you can quit your job and you can do this full time.
Right.
Would have been the one thing I would have changed.
So given where we're at now, what's next? What's next for Tutu's tortilla chips?
Well, we are looking into going into business with one of my stores that have a kitchen, and hopefully that all works out. And then I can just produce more. We're limited on the amount we can produce out of my house.
Right.
Once we get into a facility where we can just really bang the heck out of them,
Yeah.
we'll start reaching out to more stores. And that's at the moment where we're at. I mean,
Yes. Yeah. And do you see that the demand is there to warrant
yes.
that commercial? Yeah.
Yes. Because at the moment, I don't do any advertisement.
Okay.
I don't really go out looking for any new stores,
Right.
but yet I keep on getting them. And perfect example, during the Patrick Warburton golf tournament, I got a hotel, Hilton, from Arizona.
And what are they buying them for? Are they going to be serving them or selling them in their shop?
They're going to be selling them in their shops.
Nice. So that it's starting to spread out. So where do I asked you how many stores do you have, but where are they located currently?
Most of them are in LA, here in Coachella Valley. We are in Palm Springs Airport.
What a great location to
It's
land.
one of the, that's one of those things that, ooh,
Did Lexi get that one or how did that come about?
when the airport brought in I'm going to say a new company to revamp all the stores at the airport,
Okay.
they reached out to Palm Springs, Greater Palm Springs, and asked for local products, and they introduced me to them.
Good.
They
Wonderful.
had it's
Yeah.
been really good.
You never know where stuff like that is going to come from. You make that contact, you go on a podcast like this, you do your pop-up at the golf course, and it just spreads from there.
You never know who you're going to meet
Yes.
and
Yeah.
who they are.
And you have to keep with it for that to build. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm glad I didn't quit when I had those moments.
Yes.
And you just got to power through it.
What's the best way for our listeners to connect with you, Liz?
You can go to our website at tututortillachips.com.
Okay.
And we're also on Facebook.
Great. We'll make sure that those links are in the show notes, and I'll drop a link to the socials as well.
Oh, perfect.
So what's your best tip, Liz, to inspire others to start or grow their side hustle dream?
I want to say if you really have a heart for it and you're strong, just stay with it. I mean, just go out there and whatever it is, start giving it to people. And to this day, John and I still give away a lot of product
Right.
because, again, they're not going to know about it unless you start handing it out. And that was the big thing for me. To just go out there. And it was hard for me. I'm not somebody that goes out there and speaks to a lot of people.
Okay.
For me to walk into a store and present myself with my product, it was tough.
Yeah.
And it's gotten much easier now
Right.
that I got the confidence, I've got the backing that I know people like them.
Yes.
It's easier. But in the beginning, you got to get out of your comfort zone. For
Right.
sure.
Yes. When we get out of our comfort zone, I call that playing in our panic zone because that's what it feels like, right?
Yeah.
But then once you play in that panic zone for a little while, it becomes your new comfort zone. But then what's on the
Right.
edge of that? The new panic zone.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you
Right.
get past something, there's something new that you got to just take a deep breath and go through with it.
Well, thank you so much, Liz, for
thank you.
sharing your journey about Tutu's tortilla chips and giving us an inside look in the story of your growth. And of course, thank you for being today's Side Hustle hero.
Well, thank you for having me. I really, truly appreciate that. And, somebody wanting to do a podcast with me it's one of those moments, too, where you go, oh,
All
You know?
right. This is outside of my comfort zone, but you stepped up. So
I did.
congratulations. And that's why your business is still going strong.
well, thank you.
If you'd like to check out more episodes from food-related side hustles, I'll link to a few of the most popular ones in the show notes, including episode 67, What It Takes to Build a Multi-Million-Dollar Company from Scratch with Melissa Mills. She's the founder of a line of unbelievably delicious cashew-based dips. Since our interview, they've expanded internationally and are crushing it. And it all started with a blender, a bicycle, and $500. Also, episode 12, Cooking Up 6 Bestsellers with Shelley Adams, author of the best-selling cookbook series Whitewater Cooks. Since our interview, Shelley has released book number 7. She has a line of sauces and marinades too, now available in supermarkets. Did she know how to do that? Nope. To get started, she literally Googled how to bottle sauces. And the third one I'll drop into the show notes is one that's a testament to you can never start too early. It's episode 51, Serving Up a Sizzling Seasonal Success with Poncho's Tacos. This group of 5 18-year-olds have done so many things right. It's a case study in how to successfully launch and bootstrap any venture. Well, that's a wrap for today. If our chats are sparking your entrepreneurial spirit and providing you valuable insights, consider showing your support by visiting sidehustlehero.com/support. That's where you can shoot me a virtual coffee. It's a real thing and a fun way to give the show a caffeinated thumbs up. Thank you so much. In the episode description, you'll find a link to the full show notes, which live at our website, sidehustlehero.com, as well as a link to Tutu's website and socials. If you're enjoying what you're seeing in this podcast, it would be so appreciated if you would take a moment and add your comment, share the episode, and please subscribe. It'll let others know that there's valuable content here to help them start and grow their side hustle. Thanks for watching, and hustle on.